A little advice. A little advice. Come on, yeah. Just a little advice. Just a little advice with Christine Little. Check it out.
Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the Little Advice Podcast where I, comedian Christine Little, gives a little advice to one of my guests. And it's only a little advice because I only have a little degree. But I read self-help and, Google a lot of articles, so sometimes I give good advice. This is episode number 23 with Kathleen McGee, who is a very funny Canadian comedian, producer, just amazing person. She calls herself a treat and a delight only because she is a treat and a delight. And I had the treat and delight of staying at her house this weekend in Edmonton in Canada. It was my first time ever going to Canada, and she put on this really amazing show with her, myself, and Christina Walkinshaw, and it was just really cool. Turns out Canada is cold. Who knew? So this episode was recorded as of right now, earlier today. It was in Canada, so it's an exotic episode. We talk about her being a little bit more affectionate, being a little less guarded as a person. It's like Chelsea's episode, but different because she's in a relationship. So being guarded in a relationship, it's totally different. Okay, podcast related. If you want to talk more about this episode or just talk in general, slide into my DMs at @TheXTeenLittle on Instagram or Twitter. Or you can go on Facebook and join the Little Advice Podcast group, and let's talk there. Let's chat it up. And there's a Facebook page too, so that's fun. And thank you guys so much for listening. And without further ado, here is episode number 23 with Kathleen McGee. Thank you for listening to A Little Advice. And hello, I am here with the lovely Kathleen McGee. Hello, Kathleen.
Hello, Christine.
Is McGee your real last name?
Yeah. Why? Does that sound fake?
I don't know. It's just like, there's... Rudy
know.
McGee. Oh, God.
My dogs are attacking my cat. It's fine.
I've been staying at Kathleen's place for the last few days, and everywhere you go, I sit down, there's always an animal underneath me.
There's only 2 dogs and a cat here. It's not like I have 1,000 animals, but they are quite intrusive.
It's very reminiscent of Ace Ventura. That's what I think. They're everywhere, and the cat stares and lurks, and the dogs they wrestle
a lot,
nonstop. I think you could have a whole channel, like a Twitch show of just showing your dogs wrestling.
Maybe I'll do that. Is that maybe? I wonder if I can make money off that.
Oh yeah, you can. People can donate and
people will just watch my dogs wrestle.
Maybe they could bet on who's gonna win this round.
Oh my god, that's a good one.
Or they could bet when you're gonna yell, put one of them in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's how I correct them, because I read somewhere that if they are bad, they have to be separated from the pack. And so I separate them from the pack. And then the other day I forgot that I put one of them in the pack. Oh. Not for long. No. It was 20 minutes, but I did feel bad.
And they came back out and they started doing it again.
Yeah, I know. They're both one is 1 year old and one is 2 years old. So I think that as soon as this one hits 2, hopefully this slows down.
That's the girl, Dottie.
Yeah. Dottie, as soon as she grows up a little bit and matures as a woman.
She's an antagonist. She's an ankle biter, literally.
She's literally an antagonistic bitch. Literally, she's a bitch.
They're very sweet too.
They are very sweet.
So cute.
That's how they've stayed alive, because they're cute and they're very cuddly.
What about the cat though?
I love her. She's got a lot of personality.
I haven't seen you guys interact once.
Oh, we cuddle, but she doesn't the dogs keep her away from me. They're assholes.
She's a spy.
Well, her name is Judy, but Christina kept calling her Linda, and I think I like that better.
I call her Tom.
Tom?
Yeah, she's got a strong Tom vibe to me.
She's a gray... She's a really pretty cat. She's got a little white mustache.
I don't like how she looks at me sometimes.
Well, you said that she was creeping you out in the bedroom?
Yeah, I went up to go pee, and I'm making this sound like so dramatic. I went up to go pee in the middle of the night.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then I came back out and I couldn't see, and I opened the door and the cat like looked at me and then she like ran in the room, and I was like, I'm not chasing this cat out. I'm not doing it. It's fine. We're going to sleep with the cat in the room. So, and I think this was the night that I got Canadian drunk.
Yeah, the first night.
Yeah. So then
Canadian drunk. I love that.
so then I go and lay down on the bed, and then like I fall asleep, and then I start hearing rustling, and then I felt like something was staring at me, and I look up and the cat's like in my face, like, and I was like, oh hell no, we're not doing this all night. Like, so I chased her out of the room.
That's amazing. Yeah, my animals are crazy, but like I've waited like forever to get dogs, and I finally was able to get one dog, and then a second one just popped up, and then
is it true? They're like, the animals, we don't choose them. They choose us.
It is. That's so hokey, but it's true. It's true. They do. Because I wasn't even looking for a dog when Eugene came along. And I wasn't looking for a second dog when Dottie came along.
That's like with relationships, huh?
That is very true about relationships. And that whole stupid when you're single and pissed off and your friends are like, when you're not looking, that's when they'll appear.
Joke about that I don't think people get. It's like, what do I say? I say, I want friends that are jobless and starving, because then I'll feel good about myself or whatever. This is the shortened version. And they'll be like, Christine, I do this whole thing. They're like, Christine, you had 3 meals today? And I'm like, yeah, and I had some snacks too. They're like, wow, how did you do that? I'm like, well, I got a job. You got a job, Christine? How did you get a job? I'm like, well, I read an article. You can read, Christine? How'd you learn how to read? And then that's when I get to give them all the condescending advice that my friends give me about love. And I feel stressed out about it. When you're ready, reading will just come to you. When you're not even looking for it, words are just going to pop off the page and just make sense in your head. When you're ready.
When you're ready to accept it.
Like it's your fault.
Oh, I know. That's why I don't like giving relationship advice to single friends, because I know it's obnoxious. Even if they ask, I'm like, honestly, I have no idea. Someday somebody's just gonna pop up and you're gonna be like, fine, I'll keep this one. But I'm not a romantic. My poor boyfriend, he's like, would you just like have a little bit of affection towards me? And I was like, I guess. But I'm not a good romantic person.
Ooh, is this your problem?
I guess so.
Ooh, I love how we organically went into it.
That was very organic.
I love this.
Yeah, my problem is definitely I'm not a romantic person, and I do not know how to accept love or give it back.
And then she just laughs hysterically.
Well, what am I going to do? I don't know.
So how long has that been going on? Is that always like been
It's been for, I think, a very long time. Most of my life, pretty much, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I've never been like, I was never that girl that was like dreaming of her wedding and
But did your parents hug you and stuff? Were you guys affectionate?
Not really. Like a little bit, but not like, I don't know that I can, not that I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember being hugged every day.
Yeah, I guess that's a weird thing.
I don't know.
But but if your parents came in right now, would you be like, oh, hey, and give them a
hug? Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. I don't know if I don't want them to come over, so.
Okay. Don't come over here, Kathleen's parents, and try to hug on her.
Don't try to hug on me, yeah.
But is it a problem for you and Adam, like, when you're like, oh.
I think he gets frustrated because he's very affectionate and he likes
his love language.
Yeah, he's a hugger and a toucher and like he likes all that stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know, when anybody like touches me, like I'll hug people at shows, but then you're touching me right now.
Is this okay?
But like, yeah, so I just get like, I just kind of tense up. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know why. I have no idea. Fix me, Christine.
I don't know, dude.
I don't think this is a little problem. I think this is a ginormous problem.
On here, someone's like, I'm like, what? This is a comedy thing, isn't it? Okay. I don't know. I can kind of relate to that in a sense, but is it something you even want to work on? Do you want to like?
I do want to be like a better girlfriend for Adam. Like I do want to be more affectionate and make him like understand more that I care, but I'm just like not. I'm just like I've been like being a comedian, you're very alone. So I got very independent over the last 10 years. Yeah. And so it's really hard for me to break out of being independent and relying on somebody else, and like, because he's always telling me, I'm here for you, I'm here for you. I'm like, I don't need anybody.
You're like, I can do it myself.
So it's really hard for me to change that mindset after being like so independent for so long.
But as a fellow independent person, it's like, do you want to like even change that? It feels good, right? To feel like you have more.
Oh yeah, like I don't want to stop being independent. I don't want to
Right.
be one of those women that like has their husband do everything for them.
Oh,
and
I
can't-
do.
Well, I want him to pay for everything.
Right,
but I
yeah.
don't. But I want to be in charge of paying the bills. He's like,
What to pay for?
yeah, what to pay for it? No, I do. Like, I would like to be able to like. I'd like to be able to be better in like a partnership instead of just because I do catch myself being like, you're being selfish again because I'm a selfish person.
That's hard.
It's very hard.
Because as a comedian, you are by yourself a lot, and
Yeah.
like you've just learned to suck it up, buttercup, as
Yeah.
my friend Jenny would say. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it is hard.
And then you don't trust anyone else to do it as good as you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know exactly how you want things done.
This is
So.
exactly me. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, stop. Next problem.
Oh my God, you just need to write a book called Stop.
Stop. And I just go into great detail about what the problems are. Sometimes you wake up
God.
in the middle of the night sweating for another hit of dope and you don't know what to do. Well, guess what? Stop.
It's that easy.
Oh my God. And people are going to be like, have you read Stop?
You're gonna be
It just changed my life.
You could be Dr. Stop Little.
Dr. Stop. Little Stop.
Little Stop. Stop Little. You should like apply to be on the Dr. Phil show with this new technique of yours.
Actually, I think I will.
Yeah. And just be like, if I can help any of your crazy people at all.
When he's like, listen to me, you're right as rain. You think you're the best. I'll be like, Phil, can I say something? You just stop.
Just stop.
It's a long riff.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop doing what you're doing.
Have you tried, like, consciously trying to stop doing that?
I
Just
to, I stop myself in my head sometimes from
That's
like, doing stuff.
amazing.
Yeah, just because I'm like, oh my God, this is something a horrible person would do. So I'm just like, don't do it.
I don't. What do you mean a horrible person?
Well, I don't know a horrible person, but just like I am very selfish, and I can admit that I'm very selfish.
Selfish in what way?
That I do think about myself first most of the time.
But aren't you supposed to
Which
do
is
that?
in some ways, but I feel like when you're in a relationship, you should start to teach your brain to think for that person too. Like, I'm not saying like I'm doing stuff that would hurt them, but like if there's an extra cookie, I'll be like, well, I'm just gonna eat it. I mean, like,
I would do that.
okay.
One time I ate a whole pint of ice cream in front of what's his face, and I didn't offer him any.
In front of Adam?
No,
Oh, in front of
my
your guy.
And then I felt terrible. I knew I was doing it, and I felt terrible.
That's really fucking funny.
But that's
See, I find that
on
funny.
him.
I find that funny.
That's on. He knew what this was.
This is why I think that you don't think this is much of a problem.
I don't.
because it's because you're the same. Because you're like, yeah. Why wouldn't you eat a pint of ice cream without offering him? And I'm just like, if I did that to my boyfriend, first of all,
It
he would kill
wasn't
me.
enough ice cream for two people. I told him, oh my God, it's a pint of ice cream. I'm like, us?
Oh, he said that, or you said that?
He got the ice cream,
Oh.
but I'm like, it's never
Wait a
enough. I'm
second.
like, you always need to get two.
He bought the ice cream and he just sat and ate it. Yeah, this is why
He doesn't eat that much.
This is why you're like, you don't have a problem, Kathleen, because you're the fucking same as me.
New title
New
of
title.
this podcast.
You're the same as me. A little bit the same.
Oh my God. No, I don't see it as a problem.
Yeah. I'm sure, like I know it bothers. My boyfriend is in the.
What has he
building right
specifically
now.
complained of? Should we get him in here?
He's like, let me talk to you. Sometimes I'm like a teenager that just came home from junior high, and my mom's like, "What did you do today?" I'd be like, "Nothing." I'd be like, "What do you?"
But honestly,
How was
since
it-
I relate,
good?
But
Like,
is
that's
he
me. I'm a one-word
interrogating you?
answer.
Does it feel like a
No,
fucking interrogate? Oh, okay. Right.
I just don't know. I think it mostly all is that it's so independent, and I've lived like my life. Like when I was before my 20s, I was very scared to do anything by myself. I was very shy, and I think that's like most people. And then I started doing comedy when I was 24. When I started doing comedy, you're just forced to be alone.
Yeah.
And you're forced to learn how to eat in a restaurant alone or go to a movie
So it's like
alone.
when it's available, you almost can't even see it because you've
'Cause
just
it feels
trained
uncomfortable.
yourself. Yeah. And then if you start letting people in, then you're going to need it more when you're alone again.
Yeah.
So it's like a good like defense mechanism in a way.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, not to make this worse, but I'm about to. I mean, what if you...
That's the new name of your podcast. Not to make this worse, but I'm about to.
I'm just validating your
No,
concerns.
I love it.
Because what if you get really close to him, you get dependent or interdependent. You come home and he's like, "How was your day?" He's like massaging you, like getting you stuff, and you're like, "This is great, all right." And you're like, "Give me a beer," and he's like, "On the way," and then and then all of a sudden he's like, "You know what? I'm good," and he just leaves. He just out of nowhere, he has like a thing, and then you're hankering for this love. You get home, and it's just an abrupt change,
And it's gone. That's true.
I guess you just move on and like find someone else or adjust.
Move on.
So you could just adjust to this.
I'll just adjust to anything. But I don't think I'm worried about him leaving. He tells me every day that
I'm
never
leaving.
which is
That's actually nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is nice. And he is the nicest man I've ever dated. And you saying like him coming in and giving me a massage and a beer, that's not an over exaggeration.
No, I can see that.
He would do every single one of those things. He's a wonderful person. So I mean, he's listening to this right now, and he's probably maybe he's not.
Do you
I don't
think
know.
he can hear us?
Yeah, I'm loud.
Okay.
He's probably crying listening to that.
He comes out. He's like, ah.
We're both really emotional, sensitive people.
Aw.
So it's but like that's the thing. It's like when we fight, it gets
escalates.
not hurtful, but it gets. We know how to hit each other in the right places, but that's like most couples. But yeah, he's very sensitive and I'm very sensitive, and it's just like sometimes we just have an oversensitive. Like our fights will start small and then they'll just get really big for no reason because we're both sensitive little babies.
I think that's what it comes from too. And then a lot of times when you're fighting, it's like not about the thing right in front of you. It's about like an underlying issue.
Yeah, exactly.
I looked it up. I Googled it.
I Googled it.
I Googled that.
I figured that out myself with Google.
That's so. You should say that.
I figured that out myself with Google.
Dottie's on me right now.
Yeah, she wants attention.
Just like me.
She's starved for attention.
What are you doing? Get off my vape pen. Oops.
She's not smoking it. She's just
It's
interested.
It's my. It just has water in it. Oh, okay, Dottie, give me a minute, please.
She's a little girl.
She's scratching me.
She would be like eventually she'd be like she's gonna be a troubled teen. I think if I didn't spay her, she for sure would have a teenage pregnancy.
Oh my god,
she's such a little monkey. Like she's very feisty. She's like a boy sometimes.
So what happened? So how did you guys even get close if you were all like, don't touch me?
Oh, I wasn't like that. I don't think I'm like that all the time in the beginning of relationships, but I think that I don't know. Or maybe I am. I have no idea how I act at the beginning of relationships. We started dating like 2.5 years ago now, and so it's like, I think I just been single for like 3 years or maybe 4.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, I'm really ready to have someone love me. And then now I do have that, and sometimes I take it for granted, I think, but
yeah,
I think hopefully everybody feels
no
as
one
fucked
else
up as
does
me.
that. You're the only one that's taken love for granted. Did you know that? This is what this is about.
You're right. They should study me. This woman's taken love for granted.
So then he came along, and then you shut it down. Sorry.
I didn't shut it down. I was very we went on our date and it was nice. It was fun, and we just started seeing each other more. Like it's just, when you just start a relationship, you're like, wait a second, how did I get in this? Sometimes it's a good wait a second, how did I get in this? And sometimes it's a bad. And this is definitely a good.
Yeah.
Wait a second, how the fuck did this happen? But. Yeah, I think I'll get better. I think I need to go into therapy and stuff. You should talk to Adam for the second half of this podcast and find out what he thinks about me, because it would be interesting.
What is his biggest complaint? Like,
I don't know. It's probably that I'm just like I don't know. We should ask him.
All right.
We should be like, Adam. He's scared to come out now. Maybe he is.
Come on, Adam. I'm just kidding. Oh,
Yeah, call Adam. I don't know what his biggest complaint is. He always, sometimes he makes me feel like I can't do anything wrong sometimes, but I can do lots of things wrong. But he is very supportive.
There's nothing that you hear him say over and over, like, "Hey, can you just talk to me?" Or like, "Hey,"
yeah, probably more like
or
that.
what was the last thing? I'm just trying to think to get an example so we can.
Oh, he always says, "I miss you," like I don't give him any affection ever.
You don't say "I miss you too," or
no, but like it's just like we're sitting in the living room and he looks at me, he's like, "I miss you," and sometimes that makes me really mad, but sometimes I understand. But
all right, let's talk about that. So what do you think makes you mad about it?
Just because I'm like, well, I'm right here. I don't know what you want me to do. Do you want me to be lying on top of you at all times?
You know what? Yeah, it's pretty indirect. So I miss you. It's like, what does that mean? Like,
Yeah.
do we need to go on a date? Do you want to come snuggle?
Yeah.
So what would happen if he just got up and like came over to you?
Then that would be fine. But yeah, when he says I miss you, I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do to change that. Like, what do you need me to do to make
so
you
that's
not
what it
miss
is.
you?
So you didn't even know what. So you need to know what you need.
I need to
Or
know what
he
I need.
needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is actually working.
Well, this is actually working, raves Kathleen.
Raves Kathleen. I'm excited. He the best thing he's done so far. Well, he's done lots of things, but he got benefits at work, so now Mama's got benefits.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you about that.
Yeah,
How?
Americans think that's weird because they're like, isn't everything in Canada free? Okay, so
It's not only that, but like, how do you get benefits if you guys aren't married?
well, we're common law. Like we've lived together for more than 6 months, so then you're common
6
law.
months is common law?
6 months or a year.
I think ours is like ours. I think ours is like 10 years.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's
I mean-
weird. I know it's not very long.
What, Canada?
Yeah.
Oh god, now I gotta look it
You
up.
could Google it, but yeah, no, I saw it. It's I think it's like anyway. I'm getting benefits, and if they find out and it's wrong, then I guess we'll just get married because these benefits are fucking amazing. So in Canada, like I can go to the doctor, I don't have to pay anything, and go see specialists, I don't have to pay anything, and go get an X-ray, I don't have to pay anything.
No copay.
No, like we don't pay for that stuff, but like pharmaceuticals, like prescriptions, yes, you do pay. And I was like paying, like I had antidepressants and other medications, and I was getting close to like paying $300 a month for medication, and I'm just like, I had to go off some stuff because I'm like, I just can't afford this. But now I like walk in and they're like okay, that'll be $2 or that'll be nothing, and I'll slowly back away. Like I can't believe I'm getting away with
just
this.
run away.
But it is nice. And then with the benefits, you also get like you can go do some mental health work, which I am so weird and crazy, and I've only ever seen one therapist for one session, and it really didn't do anything. I just all it did was
I hate those too, 'cause it's like the backstory ones, and you're like, can I just talk about what's going on today?
Yeah. It was just like a big long thing, and it was so funny because she was like, do you see a pattern with when you go into your sadness and your depression? She's like, it always has to do with a man. Whenever you have a man that you'll always get really depressed.
She said that in one session?
Yeah, well, I talked a lot, and it was a long session.
You're like, so I went to the store today, and then this guy, he didn't say hi to me. And then but then after that, I got ice cream, and I was feeling good. And then I walked by this, like, strange guy, and he was like, he was just weird.
He made me sad because he didn't look at me. No, it's relationship-wise.
So I looked it up. There's no common law.
Well, I don't know what it is.
In California, are you legally married after living together for 7 years? A common myth is that if you live with someone for 7 years, then you automatically create a common law marriage. What? So we are like not about it at all.
That's weird. Because I mean, we could Google the Canadian stuff, but
it's working. So
I mean, it's working.
So I think you're
we didn't have to have an expensive wedding. Not that I do want to have a wedding, but I don't want to have an expensive.
He said once he gets enough money for the ring, you guys will get married. I asked him within about 10 minutes of meeting him. So
yeah, but we're both terrible with money, so I don't think I'm ever gonna get a ring. As soon as we get money, we're like, let's go out, and we go fucking crazy.
Oh, here's this thing I learned just really quick about the money thing that I thought was really helpful. Like when you get money, if it's a windfall, like first of all, know how much your expenses are and stuff. Yeah. But if it's over that, then like divide it in 4, and one part goes to paying your debt, one part goes into your savings that's connected to your your checking account for like things that come up like car stuff or
Yeah.
whatever. That doesn't happen all the time, but
What
often.
is a savings account?
Nah.
I don't know what that is.
Really?
I have like $30 in RSPs and like maybe $20 in a savings account. I'm not good. I'm terrible with money.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you this.
I'm going to do this.
So get a savings account. And then the other one is for your wealth building.
Okay. What does that mean? Like investing?
Like, yeah, dude.
All right.
Yeah. So if you want to get another property, which I think
do.
you should. Yeah. So that would go there. Or you could put it in an account that like
There's a fucking pigeon going nuts outside.
See this place like
It is like Ace Ventura. It is like Ace Ventura. Oh my god.
So much going on. Yeah. So that I think that's really helpful.
That is really
But, like,
smart.
know your numbers, know your back. Like if you want to have like for savings, say, okay, we need at least $6,000 for 3 to 6 months living expenses or whatever it is. I don't know what your number is. Yeah. So build that. Yeah. There's so much stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that. I've gotta start reading some more like how to be a money person. I've never learned how to spend money. I never learned how to save money. I never learned that anything. Like
There's
I got
some good books. Millionaire Next Door, Think and Grow Rich is one I've heard, and A Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then the one I really loved was Millionaire by 30.
Ooh,
spoiler alert! Didn't make it.
I'm is that what about Millionaire by 40?
Millionaire eventually. How about
Eventually, you'll be a millionaire.
That's what inspired me to buy my place.
Yeah. I think I got really hosed on this real estate deal. I bought it in 2007 and then the market fell apart in 2008. So I really got screwed. And this neighborhood I was told was going to be get a little nicer, and it hasn't. And but it's starting to now because they're building high rises around here and they're like putting in subways.
Cool.
Yeah, so
it's a good time.
It is a good time, and I mean, this is my retirement fund. We're sitting inside of my retirement fund.
Smart. I think it's really smart.
It's the smartest thing I guess I could have ever done when I was actually making money, and then
you could get another one, rent that out, or live in that one, rent this one out.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're sidetracked.
Yeah.
Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you.
What were you talking about?
Okay, can I tell people what's going on?
No.
Christy,
I can't.
Why not?
Because I don't know. I don't want my.
I don't want my mom to know.
Hey, I whispered that for a reason. You're the worst.
I am
the
the
problem.
worst. I am the worst. I am the worst. I'm a little shit disturber. I like to disturb shit.
You're a shit flicker.
I'm a shit flicker. The best part about having Christine here in Canada is like, I don't know, you don't realize some of the stuff we say is weird, but she is right. Like, we were driving around, this comic Ben was driving us around, and he's just like, I was fucked up. I didn't tell him the right turn, so he turned in this one place and it was a dead end. So he's like, "I'm just gonna flip the switch or something," or he said,
flip a switch,
or switch a bitch, or something
weird." We say flip a bitch, but he said flick a switch. I don't know what he was saying.
Anyway,
but it was weird.
Then we started saying that he's flipping this. No, he's flicking the shit. Oh, okay, maybe it's more funny when you were there.
Yeah, sorry about this, guys.
It's happened to everybody. Don't act like this only ever happened to us.
What?
That you start telling a story and it just goes.
Oh, we've done it multiple times. I'm having a good time though. It's like, are people listening to this? So
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's fine.
It is fine.
What was I gonna say? So we were talking about something really good before the whole money thing.
Selfishness and my inability
Something to do with Adam, maybe.
Oh, when he says I miss you?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Maybe that someone will tell us in a tweet after this when they listen to it.
You were talking about this.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
I got to edit this. This can take forever.
I don't edit my podcast ever.
Really?
I just like do it and let it go.
Let it go. Wait, like not even the sound or anything?
I mean, I have a producer that puts a song at the beginning and a song at the end, and I do an intro, and sometimes I do an outro, but not very often. But I don't know. I just feel like I always was like, that's why I like podcasting, because it's different from radio in that, like, I know my dogs are on top of me, but it's like it didn't feel like it was so edited, and it didn't feel like it was so edited and so like had to be perfect. That's why I liked podcasting, because it felt like you're just listening in on a conversation. That's why I don't like. I mean, I know there are podcasts out there that are edited and they're great, but I just like I'm a lazy person, so I was like,
I get that.
But I make it
about
sound,
myself, not about you, but
but I make it sound like I'm being creative.
this is an artistic choice.
This is a choice to be lazy.
I guess I feel the same way too. But the podcasts that I like listening to the most are the ones that like I learn something from, or hear a cool story.
I love murder podcasts. Like I can't handle how much I love murder podcasts. I like sometimes I'm driving, I'm like, I wonder if I'll ever be the subject of a murder podcast.
Oh God.
I know it's horrible, but I have actually thought that before.
When I'm in a sketchy situation, like the Dateline voiceover does come over. She was a small town girl. It's like, no.
Oh, this happened to me. Like I was in a town called Dawson Creek, Alberta, which is northern Alberta, or is it in BC? I can't remember. Anyway, it's northern Canada, way up north. And I brought my dogs with me, and I was walking them at a park, and this old man was there, and he had a dog that was like about the same size as my dogs, and we were just talking. And then he's like, oh, I got some dog coats. Do you want some dog coats? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like he's like, they don't fit my dog, but they'll probably fit yours. I'm like, are they in your car? And he's like, yeah. I mean, he's like, no, they're at my house. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, well, I'm not fucking it, but
they're in my basement.
That's the thing. So then I was like,
you're like, okay,
yeah, but I don't like disappointing people. So I was like, yeah, I'll be there. And he drew me a map on a napkin and everything. And I'm like, yeah, you could just give me the address. I put it in Google, but whatever.
How old was this guy?
He was like, I would say in his late 60s, early 70s. Okay. But I was like, so I said I'd be there at 5, and I didn't go. But at 5 o'clock, I got this huge guilty feeling, and I'm just like, he's probably like waiting
old
for me.
Man on the porch. He's got the dog jackets on. He's not inside, but he doesn't want to miss you coming.
But then I literally thought, did I just stand up my murderer? Like, did he just spend 2 hours putting plastic all over the living room, and I don't even show up for my murder? Is
that a bit you do on stage?
I've done it a couple times.
That's so funny.
I hate that when you're like, yeah, this is a bit, but I'm going to do it on a podcast anyway. But yeah. But I literally that is 100% true. I literally thought that I have a weird mind. I'm crazy. I'm not crazy, but I think weird things.
I mean, that is pretty funny. You're like, I hope I didn't inconvenience him.
He's
he's been looking for a girl all day. He thought he's like, oh, perfect. I'll tell her I've got
she
some
can't
dog
run.
coats.
This girl's not gonna run.
No.
She's not gonna run. Look at her.
Why does your dog look at me so longingly?
Because he loves you.
I did something to him.
Oh. Maybe we should find out if Eugene has a little problem.
Eugene?
He does have problems.
Do you have a problem?
He has problems with people touching his bum.
Oh, yeah. You know, you'll pet him. He'll, like, get in your face. He's like, pet me, pet me, pet me. And then you do. And then he goes,
yeah. He's like, he doesn't know what he wants.
You're confused.
You need to figure out what you want, Eugene. You really need to.
You need to make a list of the qualities that you want. Put it in your drawer and look at it every day.
Yes. We're going to make you a vision board, Eugene. I think I should make my dogs a vision board. That'd be hilarious.
I think you should too.
I'm just
got like dog bones toys.
It's just Dottie riding on a motorcycle. I'm so going to make vision boards for my dogs.
Beating up bigger dogs.
Oh my God.
That's so funny.
That's amazing.
Shoot. Okay, well, you know what? I don't know how long this has been, but let's
31 minutes and 15 seconds.
That's perfect.
I've
got a good feel. I'm such a comedian.
You are. You know your timing is amazing.
I know.
I know your time.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, you do. You're amazing. And you're so funny. I haven't seen you in 6 years. And like,
here's the story on Kathleen, so I don't have to do it in the intro. 30 minutes late.
Yeah.
Kathleen, I know from when I live in LA, and Kathleen, we're in Canada now. By the way, first time in Canada.
Yeah.
What? It's so gossam.
It's so gossam.
You guys know what that means.
It was even cold and it was fun.
It was very cold. It still is cold, but it looks sunnier. Anyway, I'm here for some shows that Kathleen's producing, and we met 6 years ago in LA when she was doing comedy there. We would go to the Comedy Store all the time, and then she got kicked out of the country, but it was her fault.
I didn't get kicked out. I wasn't allowed back in.
They're like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's not like they found her in the United States.
Oh, no, it was my
and
fault.
told
I
her
didn't have my visa. I was being sneaky. I admit it. But
like your
also,
cat.
but also for your American listeners, it's like a huge ordeal for a Canadian to go down and work in the States, at least in a performer. Like, I lost $5,000 trying to get a visa. They just kept it all. And then, I don't know, I just, like, you have to have this many letters from producers and other people in the States that are rave about you, that call you a person of extraordinary ability.
We don't have this in America.
It's so hard to ask people that are successful for that when you're just like, I'm not very successful, but can you say I'm extraordinary? So it's really uncomfortable to do that. And then, it's just like, then you have to have these things called deal memos, which is basically jobs, which I don't have until I can go down there and showcase. So it's very frustrating.
So is there a time period where you can like stay in the United States and get all that stuff and then present it?
I'm sure that I should talk to an immigration lawyer again, but at this point I'm like getting older and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna try again.
That's a decision you're gonna have to make.
Yeah, it's crazy, but
you seem pretty good with the flow.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just want to, and I honestly, I don't want to live in America too much. I do want to tour there. I have like lots of people that live down there that want me to tour, but I can't get down.
but why don't you want to live in America too much or be there?
Oh, it's just like, I mean, I love living in Canada. I love Canada. I love living all over. I just want to live everywhere, but it is different if you go down and you're a Canadian, and it's different. There's a lot of differences that you don't think exist, but it does.
What stood out to you the most?
I feel that some people were really nice, but everybody is very into like their own thing in America, which is, it happens here too. Like Toronto is that way. It's very, people will walk down the street and just walk through you. But I feel like
They're very like determined, goal oriented, they're on a mission.
Yeah. But it's just like the political climate in America right now is scary. Like, it is like, did you see those like white teenage boys that went to intimidate an old?
Oh yeah,
and
I
then
just saw that
and then the
video.
mother was like, well, he came over and was banging a drum in my son's face, and black Muslims were attacking my son. I'm like, shut up. I just want
that kid looked like the kid
they
from
showed
New Girl.
Oh, he has such a punchable face. He's sitting there with that smirk, and that picture just enrages me, because that is the attitude that's ruining the world. Not even just America, but that smirk, little smug, listen, I'm white, I can do whatever I want attitude is really ruining the world.
Yeah.
And it's really bad in America right now, but it's spilling over to Canada. Like, there's lots of like race issues and stuff like that, but
all the hate is getting activated.
Yeah, it's getting it's getting a little bit out of control. But I also love America. Your cheese is cheap. You have Trader Joe's, which is fucking amazing. All of my stuff is like food stuff.
Yeah, Chipotle's there.
In-N-Out. We have a Chipotle up here now, but
a couple people were like, we don't have Chipotle here.
Maybe not
so
here in
don't do that
Vancouver.
joke again, and I'll do it again.
You're the best. You're just like every American that comes up here like, do you guys have water up here? Do you guys, would they understand if I talked about food?
But there's some weird stuff
there
that
is.
You don't know, like that doesn't make sense here. That you're like, I'm afraid to do anything. Okay, all right. Well, we got to end this segment of this. Before we do that, are there any? Her dogs are fighting again.
Guys, relax.
She just threw a remote.
Not hard. I just lost.
No, I know, but like
to kind of get in there to get their attention, because I don't have to whistle. I should get a whistle, and every time my poor neighbors will be like, "Jesus Christ, Kathleen, just go to a dog trainer."
Oh, you should get a dog trainer.
I think I'm gonna go to an obedience class with Dottie. Eugene's pretty good, but Dottie is a little wild. Okay, get down.
Okay. Well, what are your takeaways from this part of the podcast? Anything that you're going to take away and apply? I know we didn't talk about your problem very much.
No, but I took away, I really did take away that when he says I miss you, I need to figure out what he misses about me so that I can do it, because that's what I need. Because you can't be ambiguous with me. Like, I don't know.
You're not a mind reader.
Not a mind reader.
Like, or he could just get up and come over.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm not like, get away. I don't think I will. I'll try very hard not to be that way anymore.
I mean, but if it's comfortable, I don't understand. You wouldn't push him away. But if you start doing something he didn't like, you probably would.
Well, he does give good massages. I do like
See?
that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well, when we come back, we're going to talk to Kathleen about her creative process, her writing process, when we come back to A Little Advice. Hello again, guys. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of A Little Advice. I just want to say thank you for listening, and if you've had a good time, which I hope you did, please rate, subscribe, share the podcast episode, leave a little review. It would be much appreciated. And if you'd like to see me do stand-up in person, well, guess what? You're in luck, because I'm going to be at Flappers in Burbank on Saturday, January 26th, with Don Friesen, who's a very funny comedian. And then I will be at, I'll be in Indiana in the second week of February. So check out my website for more info on that. Again, thank you guys so much for listening to A Little Advice. And now we are officially back. Still here with Kathleen McGee. I said we were back before we were actually back, but now we are officially back. Thanks for having me here, Kathleen. This is great.
Thanks for coming. I'm so glad that you could come up here. Like, that's my goal for this show that I want to start producing more, is to bring up comics that don't necessarily get up to Canada very often, because they might not like, I don't know. They wouldn't.
What's the name of your show? If you're in
My Favorite Headliners.
My Favorite Headliners.
It's at the Grindstone Theater in Edmonton, which is a very cool.
I love that place. They have Crush there. I had like Crush and vodka. You can buy a bag of candy.
Yeah. They have they have great hot dogs, great nachos, but great comedy as well.
I love the theater. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why I brought that up. Oh, God.
Oh, you guys.
So tell me about your writing process.
I don't really write much down. I mostly just have tags written down in my notes on my phone, and then I'll just work them out, and I'll never work any of them. Like, I'll never... He's distracting me. I swear to God.
Dogs are running again.
You
They've got a sock.
Sorry. Okay, leave my sock alone. You only have to be normal for like 20 more minutes. This is why I cannot be a mother. I'm like frazzled and I have dogs.
Well, hopefully your dogs won't or your kids don't have a sock that they're fighting over.
Yeah. Oh, no, she's eating it. Good.
At least she's quiet.
Yeah, at least she's quiet.
So you don't write anything down?
No, and I'm sure I've lost a lot of stuff that way.
So when you get a joke idea, you don't write it down, you just try to remember it?
I have like a million voice memos from shows where I request, because I write on stage or in the shower. I get a lot of good ideas in the shower. I've heard lots of people, like, that's a thing. But I do a lot of shower writing. I do a lot of driving to gigs like 7 hours away. So if I'm by myself, I will do a lot of, or even if I'm with another comic. I don't know. That's a good thing about like long road trips, is you come up with a lot of material.
Yeah.
Because you're in like a little writing room the whole time.
When you're hanging out with other comedians. Yeah. I think that's probably when I get most of my ideas, because then they're also there to be like, write that down.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's happened all weekend with us. Like, Christina Waukesha was up here with you too, and it was just like, write that down. I think one of my things is I use Twitter as a live joke book.
Yeah, you said that you tweet all your jokes.
I tweet all my jokes out that I just think of, and so if they blow up, then I'm like, okay, there's something to develop here. Not even blow up, like get 4 or 5 likes. That's blowing up for Kathleen. but yeah, but if they like don't get any attention, I'm like, I don't know if there's anything there. It's like a live joke book that you can get input from.
Sophia does that too.
Yeah.
Sophia Alexandra. That's cool.
And I think, and the only way to get more traction on Twitter is to tweet lots. Not a lot, but like just in quality. Yeah, and consistently, yeah. Because there's lots of comics like, I don't even want to join Twitter. I only have like 10 followers. And like, yeah, because it's very boring tweeting into nothing.
Yeah.
But then something might happen, and famous people need to know that they can change people's lives if they just retweet them.
That's true. So true. That is, you think
you have that
I'm
much
sure
power.
They do know
Oh
that.
yeah, I'm sure they know. But these dogs. Okay,
maybe when you're a big celebrity, like your whole account will just be you tweeting.
Yeah, but
Tig Notaro does, like, she has people tweet for her account.
I know, I've heard that. That's so cool. Like, I like that. I really have a lot of respect for people that are higher up that really do listen and care to the people below them, because they were there
Yeah.
I don't have time for someone that's like, I don't want to listen to you.
Yeah.
I'm not helping you out at all. But yeah, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen too often. It's
What?
more that someone doesn't want to help or do anything. But mostly.
Like when they're higher or lower?
When they're higher.
Oh, yeah.
I've always there's
But
just
there's two things that can happen. What I've heard is that one, you could go the route like, no one helped me, figure it out.
Yeah.
Or they'll go, I remember how bad that sucked, and I want to help you.
I think if you help other comics, they'll figure out how to do that to be good people too.
Yeah, so you're like spreading a lot of like goodwill into the world.
Yeah.
Because you're creating more people that will help more people.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
You just want, that's all. That's what I can do. I don't have money, but I can spread goodwill.
That is something. I remember like when Bobby Lee let me do a guest spot on his show.
Yeah,
at the
he's
Irvine
somebody
Improv.
that's super cool. And
It was like game changing for me.
that's why I love guest spots. Like, that's why I let Ben do a guest spot last night because we didn't have to be straight on. Like, we didn't have to be out at exactly midnight. And he's been like he's a new comic, but he's been hustling the way I hustled. And I see this and like,
I respect
and I'm not
that.
talking even about writing or going to open mics. I'm talking about sitting down with comics and asking questions and offering to drive them places and stuff like this.
Yeah.
That's how I got my
Not only was
connections.
he offering to drive us places, but he was being so cool. He'll be like, it was freezing outside. And we're like, I'll go get the car.
Yeah.
And you guys, and we're like, really? Are you sure? Like,
But,
it's
and,
so cold.
and some people, that's being a kiss ass. I'm like, no, that's being somebody that's interested.
Was
in
not
the
being a
industry.
kiss
No,
ass
not
at all.
all.
He was being cool. He wasn't being annoying,
No.
like trying to be on all the time.
Yeah.
Make it about him. He was just like,
Yeah. He should teach a course to new comics on how to behave and get, because I've been
Yeah.
giving him lots of opening gigs because he's a fun person to hang out with, and he doesn't creep me out, and he's just like doing it the right way, because not a lot of comics.
no one knows. And they go about it in such a fucked up way.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they're just like, I don't need to do that shit. I'll just go to an open mic and leave right after because I don't need to listen to anybody or do anything like that. Whatever.
That is a big part of it that I think that people just don't know. Like, just the etiquette behind the scenes can get you so much more anyway than just being funny.
Yeah. And the comedy community is not like, it's small. So if somebody in Canada is being a little wiener and then he comes to LA and he's like, hey, can I have a spot on your show? And you're like, hey, Kathleen, do you know this guy? And I'll be like, he's a wiener.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm like, I never want to like tell anybody to quit comedy, but I'll definitely not vouch for somebody.
Yeah.
I have no problem not vouching
Because
for
it's
people.
a big deal. Because also that's your name.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, this person's funny and they're cool, and then they go and do something stupid, then that person's not going to listen to you anymore. And, and you're not helping.
Yeah.
So you can't help anyone else out in the future who's actually funny because you gave a bad recommendation another time.
Yeah. But I've also recommended people that like, I'll say like, they're not like super strong yet, but they're working really hard and they deserve a spot.
Yeah.
Because that's part of it. I personally look at somebody who's like, that I look at, I'm like, oh yeah, you're doing what I did when I started, and I feel a connection to you, and I'm like, you're not just walking in and demanding spots and demanding this, because it's a very entitled scene these days with some of the newer comics, and it's kind of like you had no entitlement when I started. You were like, I went to Yuck Yucks in Edmonton every weekend for a year, and I sat there and I didn't speak until I was spoken to, and I just watched and I listened, and and that doesn't happen. Like, there's people that just like walk in and be like, I own this club, blah blah blah. Do you know what I hate about the Canadian
just
comics?
ignore them.
You know what, this is something that Canadian comics do all the time. They like go to LA and they do the potluck, and then they're like, featuring at the Comedy Store this week. They do it.
They're still doing
some
that?
of them. Some of them do it. I'm sure
and
that
then that's a good way to get like not any more love at the Comedy Store.
That's what I've always said. Like, I'm like, if the Comedy Store saw you tweeting that, they'd be like, what a dork. Or if somebody's like, I headlined this show, but you know it was a bringer show. I get that you want to be like, show off a little bit, but like, the comics know what's real.
we know what's really going. There was some guy that got called out for doing that. He kept like posting all this stuff, like he was so big at the Comedy Store or something, and then people like roasted this guy. I don't remember who
I would
it was.
be terrified to do that Comedy Store, because the Comedy Store is a scary place.
It is so scary
until you're kind of, I don't even know if I was fully accepted, but at least when I was there for that little amount of time, they passed me to development spots, and people were like getting to know my face, but like it's like a scary high school there.
It really is.
It really is.
Full
Like
of just like there's it definitely feels like high school. There's like a hierarchy.
Yeah.
Like the comics that are like on TV shows
Yeah.
and stuff like that. They're like the college kids
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the open micers are the freshmen.
Oh, yeah. Oh God. But it is. I think it's the best club in the world. I don't know that
It's world famous.
It is world famous.
I like just being able to
hang out there.
Yeah, just to hang out. Like it's a center for comics. Like you go there, you're always gonna like clown really hard. Or you're never gonna regret going.
That's what I miss about comedy up in Canada. Like when I started, we would always a bunch of comics would be at Yuck Yucks on the weekends and hanging out and being social. And then like, but now like it feels like that doesn't happen anymore. Like comics don't just come to hang out to watch the shows. They like if they're not on, they're not coming down. And I'm even like that. Like I don't go to Yuck Yucks every weekend. If I have a spot, I'll go, but I don't go and hang out.
Yeah. I'm trying to hang out more. Everyone says that, but it's like when you're doing a lot of shows and if you're driving a lot, when you're home, you're like, I need a better reason to get up and just hang out.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
But sometimes you'll go and then they'll put you up too. I've had that happen before. It's like, oh, I wasn't even trying to get up. Like,
that's always
I mean,
nice.
not at the Comedy Store, but like at other clubs.
Yeah, that's good.
Or I'd say the Ha.
At the Ha.
They're cool. What else about your writing stuff? What would you tell newer comics about writing?
I don't know. Like, I don't think that there is definitely a skill level of writing a joke, and you could develop it and get stronger. I personally, like, I'm not a big, I'm not like one of those comics like, I'm doing a new hour and retiring that material. Because honestly, I don't write as much to get a new hour every year, which I should be doing more. But sometimes I'll go back to a joke that I told 4 years ago. And now with the skill level that I have from
it's totally different joke.
I can figure out the right way to do the joke. Like one of my closers, I thought about it literally 6 months after I started comedy, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. And then one night I was at the Toronto Yuck Yucks and I just started talking it out on stage, and then I hit the punchline. Was it a hot crowd? It was a good crowd, but I hit the punchline and it was like, you know when you hit a new punchline that you didn't even expect yourself to come up with, and it just like floors the crowd, and you're just like, oh my God, that's like an orgasm. That's a comedy orgasm. I came up with that
on the spot, and then it just comes like pre-delivered. You're like, whoa,
yeah,
I didn't know I could come up.
And
with
that's one moment of this comedy career that I will never forget. That feeling, it was a great feeling. There's a few things in comedy.
What joke was that? Was that the
it was
Hitler
just
one?
No, it was just the joke about that I role played with my boyfriend because we were bored.
I remember that joke.
Yeah, it's old.
At the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
But that was like a bit that I really, really... Okay, go ahead and do it. Sorry.
Oh, you want me to do the bit?
Oh, no, not if you don't want... I thought you were going into it.
It was just... Okay, so it's like I role play with my boyfriend, and then we like meet at a bar, pretend we don't know each other. We sit down, we start talking, find out we have a lot in common. At the end of the night, I look at him, I'm like, I don't normally do this with a stranger. But I totally do. But we were role playing. So that's the difference. But anyway, we took him home. We had the craziest sexual relationship. Next day I called him. I was like, oh my God, how did you dress up like two black guys? That was really good. So that line, because I think I like gone from like an old guy, like how did you dress up like an 88-year-old man, but it never hit. And then
I wonder why that one's so much funnier.
I mean, because it's like he's like because it's one guy. I don't know why it's funnier.
I guess
it just
like more
works.
Extreme.
Sometimes I'll say like two women, like if I'm in a very like female forward that's all like woo. Because I do have a joke where I say if I could be a polygamist, I'd marry 4 guys that were very different. Like I'd marry an Asian dude to do my taxes and make me stir fry.
Oh my God.
I'd marry a black guy to fuck me. I'd marry a woman to make me come, and I'd marry a white guy so my parents weren't disappointed. And like. I just do that joke because everybody can relate to that feeling. It doesn't matter what color you are. People, like your family, can be a little bit gross. But the thing that bothers a lot of people is the women. It's always guys are like, hey!
Really?
We make you come too.
That's the part that bothers people?
Some
That's
guys.
so funny.
Yeah.
We could do it too, right?
Yeah.
A lot of validation.
Yeah.
That's so funny. He's like, yeah, we're racist, but...
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's like, I don't have a real, I don't have a sit down, pour myself a cup of this.
Do you have like a time, like say before a show, you go, I'm going to do something new tonight, or it just happens?
I usually try to do something new on most shows, or I'll just like I'll think of an idea and I'm like, well, we'll see where this goes, and it usually doesn't go.
You just come up with like something you've been thinking of and just.
And I'll just go and try and work it out on stage. If I'm headlining, then I'll just I'll do a couple of good jokes that I know work, and then I'll go into the the ones I don't think are going to work, but I'll try. So then if those fail, then I can do ones that I know work afterwards.
So sometimes I'll just start out with new jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you do that too?
Yeah.
I think that's probably not a great idea.
I mean, like,
I think it depends on what it is.
If it's a paid show, I don't usually do that, but sometimes I do.
I did that last night.
Yeah, but it worked.
It did.
Sometimes it's great to do new jokes because they're new in your head and you're just like fresh, and because I mean, there are jokes that like you tell and you're like, okay, here's this fucking joke again, but I know it works, so here we go.
Yeah, you put that after the new one.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason I like doing it up top, because I'm like, okay, I'll try it, and then if it doesn't work, I know I can just go right into myself.
Yeah.
So
exactly. But that's why hosting, we were talking about this this weekend in Canada. I feel like it's different than in America because they usually put a really strong comedian as a host. But in America, everyone said it's like they usually put a newer comedian that's usually their role. But like it's very the host role is so important because they're the person that goes up, and it's the hard. It is hard.
It's hard
because they go up to a cold crowd. They got to get them into the show. They got to tell them. If you're at a club, they go, go out this way to go take a cigarette, and go this way, and then don't heckle, and whose birthday is it?
You feel like you're managing the show, basically.
Yeah, but you get all these skills, and almost every time I host, I come out with a new bit every weekend I host, because you're more likely to think of like come off the cuff. Your crowd work gets stronger. Mm-hmm. It's just there's so many so when new comics start, like, what can I do to become a stronger comic? I'm like, if they ask you to host, always host.
Yeah, or like put on your own show. I think that's a really good idea for new comics.
Yeah, exactly.
I did that once. I put on, I called it, I'm so obsessed with my name. I got to stop. It's too much. Like I'm starting to feel like a gimmick put over a word. And anyway, I called it A Little Night of Comedy.
That's cute though. When it's that cute, you got to do it.
But I didn't know how to produce a show. So it was like at this place where it was like a 2-item minimum. It was like a 2 food item minimum.
Oh, yeah.
That's
a big thing in the States. That doesn't happen here.
What? There's no item minimums?
Not really.
No way. Your comedy clubs?
Yeah. I think like at Yuck Yucks, you can just go in and you don't have to get anything.
What? Yeah, maybe that's why
they're failing? No,
I'm just kidding.
No, they're not failing. Everything's great.
It's usually a 2-drink minimum, but this place was like a 2 food item minimum.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and then I think I got the door or something.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to do a show, so I was only getting booked on bringer shows. So I like brought comics that I knew onto the show.
Yeah.
And like was like, you guys gotta bring people.
Yeah. Producing
it's a good show though.
This weekend was so stressful for me, and like I was so nervous about everything, but it ended up being a good weekend. Could have been a little bit busier, but I still think we both had 2 great crowds.
I had a great time.
Yeah. It was good.
Producing is stressful though.
It's a good skill to learn though. That's why it's good to and when you're new, you can barter spots if you have your own show and it's a good show.
And you meet new people. Yeah. Like you're offering something to the community. Yeah. Even a mic,
It's good.
Something like that.
Exactly.
All right, should we go?
Yeah, you got to go to the airport.
Oh, you can't wait to get rid of me.
I can't wait to get rid of you.
Sorry, I'm not a dog.
No, you can stay if you want, but it's cold.
No, I'm not staying.
Yeah, I know. You're like, are you an idiot?
Okay, well, this has been really fun talking to you. Where can people find you?
My Instagram and Twitter is Kathleen_McGee.
Spell that. McGee.
McGee.
All right.
And then I don't know, I have a website called KathleenMcGee.ca.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm all over Canada. You can't find me anywhere in America.
Really?
But I am all over Canada.
Well, if you're in Canada or if you're going to Canada in Edmonton, check out this show.
But if you are an American, you can follow me. Because I think if I have more followers,
her Instagram is great. Yeah. If you guys follow, it really, really helps performers. It does. It really does.
Because getting visas, getting spots, having a big number of followers helps.
I'm at the X Teen Little. I don't know if I usually say that, but I am. And thank you for listening to the show. Please rate, subscribe, comment, because that really helps too.
Yes, it does help.
It really does.
It's free for you to help us. It's free and easy.
Free and easy, just like.
Yeah. I mean, you can send us money too if you feel like it.
Please send us money.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just kidding. Thank you guys so much for listening to A Little